All right. Welcome to another edition of Orc Rogues, where we bring to you everything nerdy, geeky, and just plain fun. My name is Derek Trent.
And my name is Thomas Fellows.
And we are excited about the show we are going to bring you today. Actually, we're just excited to get through that opening. You have no idea.
You'll probably have an idea later.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because if this show goes away that... words are hard.
That was pretty much the whole introduction.
It was, and it was brilliant. If the rest of the show goes the same way, you might get another blooper reel.
Very, very true. But today we're bringing you a video game that is pretty interesting looking, I think.
Oh, yeah. I won't be playing it.
I thought it came in just in time, right?
No.
New challenge.
No, I don't think we need another new challenge.
No, anyway. But it is a scary game. It's kind of a creepy, suspense, horror-y sort of game with a pretty unique twist. And the game is called
Perception.
Ooh.
Okay.
It's a Kickstarter game from some of the creators from BioShock and
Dead Space.
So thank you. So they are not new at all to this genre of games,
and especially not new to unconventional horror, which is really exciting because this is certainly an unconventional horror game. You play as a blind character who is essentially seeing by echolocation.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting concept. The few trailers that are out now look very interesting.
Yeah, it looks intriguing.
And they are gameplay trailers that are out, so there will definitely be links in the description. Check them out. But we have a little bit more to talk about on it. So there's going to be two modes to the game. There's going to be the regular mode, like the trailer that we saw earlier today, where you have a lot of the inner thoughts of the main character, Cassie. And then there's going to be essentially a silent mode.
Okay.
The key to that being is that she's actually talking to herself. And by talking, she's hearing the sounds and seeing.
Okay. So she's talking aloud. I missed that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's talking aloud. Okay. So the silent mode is going to make it so you can't see nearly as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be interesting.
That is pretty interesting. I didn't realize that's what was going on, but that's pretty clever. Okay.
Another thing about this game, and some of you know, I've been playing Outlast, which I haven't been recently because I wasn't getting a huge response to that. If that's something y'all still want to see, be sure to leave it in the comments. I don't have a whole lot more to go on it, but if there's a demand for it, I absolutely will finish it. But this game actually seems scarier.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the things that I was noticing here. Like in the trailer, there's not really a lot of really monsters or gore or that sort of stuff in the trailer. I mean, there may be more in the game, with like monsters and stuff and all that sort of stuff going on, supernatural things. But it looks like they're relying more on the suspense for their scares than it is just like the gore and the,
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Boop. Sound effects are anyway. I was going to go down a really bad road. You go on. I'm going to drink some bowls.
Big thank you to Balls for supplying the drinks for today's episode. We'll get back to that at the end. You ever
Please recover. Please recover. God.
Oh, gosh. I'm lost.
Gameplay scary because of
scary things.
Scary because of scary things instead of just gore.
No, it's a lot more specific. There's a little bit of jump scare with it, considering it is sound based. So like sudden thunder, where it lights up the room and you have stuff. There is that creepy doll where she's just like, nope. Not doing that.
That was great. Actually, I like that scene.
And that's the other thing about it is that her commentary, at least in the trailer, is very lighthearted and witty.
Yep.
Which makes it, when she gets scared, so much scarier. So the game looks amazing. They're taking a very interesting direction with it, and I'm very excited to let him get his hands on it, because I'm not playing.
I'm actually really looking forward to the game. I mean, like when you mentioned earlier about it not being a very scary commentary, that was one of the things that drew me in, honestly, because I was telling Thomas that it's a lot like a lot of the Stephen King books and some of those other people that get you comfortable first, where you like somebody and you like the characters and you build this rapport with them, and then you throw them to hell. You know, and it's just it's so much worse that way when you have this kind of, oh, you know what, this person's nice. This is cool. This is a good place to be.
Yeah, and that's something you definitely didn't get from Outlast.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, next up we have a couple of movies to talk about. We have a new trailer from a movie that we've talked a little bit about before, and that is Colossal. The movie starring Anne Hathaway, where she is inadvertently controlling a giant monster.
So far as we can tell.
Talk about interesting plot devices and unorthodox storylines. This is it.
Each trailer we've seen for this has actually had me wanting to see the movie more.
Yeah, and I still have no idea what's going on, which is great.
Yeah, we still don't really know. Like, it could be a rom-com, you know? It's still got that. It's there, you know. It could just all of a sudden rom-com.
Well, what we saw from this trailer is Anne Hathaway as human being more aware and in control, and also fighting a giant robot. Not as a human, as the monster, which is always awesome.
And we don't know if that's being controlled by someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
it's interesting. Yeah. I want to see this movie. It's something I know nothing about, and I want to know about it because it looks awesome.
It really does. And I said this before, but the way this is played out so far, if it turned out to be rom-com, I would actually be okay with it. Yeah, I would be like, I'd still enjoy it.
I really, at this point, I don't think there will probably be a romantic aspect to it. I don't think it's going that route.
I don't think it's the focus.
No. I think it's probably going more just straight comedy. The other movie we have to talk about is a sequel to unexpected success, at least in our eyes, and that is Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The first Kingsman was
The Secret Service.
The Secret Service. It was surprising. I heard about it. I was like, oh, this is going to be a cheap spy ripoff movie, and it was actually really good.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap. It was a spy ripoff movie. It was
a spy ripoff movie, and I'm going to take a step back. It wasn't really good. It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was fun. You know, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't. I agree with you. I don't think it was the best movie ever, but it held my interest. I enjoyed it.
And then there was Samuel L. Jackson's weird lisp,
which incidentally, coming up with the new one, it makes me really sad that Samuel L. Jackson is not going to be in the Kingsman, the Golden Circle.
Derek, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be here all week.
If you haven't seen Samuel L. Jackson play that part,
that's pretty much it, actually. That was impressive.
That's the voice. That's pretty much. It's actually a little higher and almost more
nerdy,
Mike Tyson-ish.
I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, kind of.
He knows that's his voice.
Yeah.
I like Mike Tyson. I'm a fan, man. But he does. He does have that voice, and Samuel L. Jackson pulled it off well.
He did, and the new movie looks very interesting. Some new kind of big names in it, American big names. It was mostly British cast in the first one, other than Samuel L. Jackson. I can't do it. But we have Channing Tatum and Halle Berry both going to be in this movie, as well as a slew of other people. And what I got from the trailer was that we're kind of seeing other nations' organization that's essentially the Kingsman.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
Which it looks like it's going to be interesting. It's still going to be a spy ripoff. I think it's going to be maybe a bit more of a comedy than the last one.
Yeah, it's not a Bond film. We know that.
No, it's not a Bond film. But I'm going to see it because I'm curious.
Yeah.
I might not see it in theaters, but I will see it.
Like I said, the last one, I mean, not a phenomenal film, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a good time when I watched it, which was also not at the theaters. I wouldn't be adverse to seeing it in the theaters. I mean, like for me, the first one was fun enough for that. You know, it kept my interest. It was entertaining. You know, and I think a lot of the effects that I saw in the first one would translate really well to big screen. So,
true.
So,
true.
you know, if I happen to see it in theaters, I don't... And it would have to be, like, horrible for me to be like, just no, don't go see it.
We also have one last big thing to talk about. There's been a new game trailer announced. Most of you already know where we're going with this. There is a new trailer for Call of Duty World War II. Now, generally, I could not give a rip about Call of Duty. I've seen so many Call of Duties. I'm done with Call of Duty. How many more times can I say duty? But this one is about World War II duty. And it looks quite phenomenal. Well, we didn't get to see a whole lot of gameplay in the trailer. We got to see a lot of story, which is something that recent Call of Duties, in my opinion, have been lacking.
I agree.
And it looks like a fun story. They're bringing back squad gameplay in an era that has not been in video games.
It really hasn't.
Recently.
No, not in a while.
It used to be that was all you got out of first-person shooter video games.
Yeah.
Now we're back to it, and I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, Call of Duty, I'm not a huge Call of Duty player. Mm-hmm. I've played a few. I mean, like the last one I had was Black Ops. So, you know, I'm behind in the Call of Duty thing. And I never got real good at the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I am absolutely horrible. I've tried, and it is just pathetic. You know, I mean, I'm just getting just whooped by what I'm pretty sure are like preteens. You know, and I have a tough time with that.
That's fair. They're just so good. That's the annoying thing.
It really is.
They're 12 and they're amazing.
It's and I've been playing first-person shooters and stuff like that since oh God, Wolfenstein 3D, like the first one.
Which, by the way, great game.
You know, then Doom later, and so it was. It's not like I'm new to the genre.
Yeah,
it's changed so much that it's too quick for me. I hate to say it, but it is. It's just too quick, and people practice like it's a sport. Which it is now a sport.
That is true.
Esports is a legitimate thing, which to me is amazing. That said, the new one, I would be interested to play it. I like the era, and I'd be really and I would.
Well,
wow.
Hold on now.
I don't even have anything to follow that with.
It's a fun era to study.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
Well, a lot of different thought processes going on in that era.
Yeah.
It's certainly...
It is a unique study.
Well, it was a very different type of enemy.
Yeah, it really was.
And just like now, in the war going on, it's a very different type of enemy.
Yeah.
And it was also a very different type of warfare.
It was. I think one of the biggest things is with the World War II era, it felt like a supervillain, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
comic books were written about it. Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, like, the stuff is like what we get from supervillains is like based off of that era. A lot of them.
It is.
It really is. Which does give it a very unique feel, especially given the fact that it was real. Yeah. So I'm curious to see what they do with the storylines and if there are indeed storylines in the World War II. I'd be curious. I'd be interested to see what kind of the multiplayer gameplay there is. But for me, it'd be mostly about the story mode.
And I think they're going to do. I think they have to do a good job on it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they're going to betray us in that. Very excited to see what comes from it, so be looking out for more of that as well. Anyways, that's about all we have time for today. Thank you all so much for joining us. We do have actually one more small thing to talk to you about. This is going to be brief, I promise.
Too late.
We have a favor to ask of... You forgot, didn't you?
I did completely, so I'm glad you remembered.
We have a favor to ask of all of you. We have now set up a Patreon account. So yes, that means we're asking for your money. Shamelessly.
Yep, pretty much. If we don't get it, it's okay.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we're not mad at you. We still love you for being here.
We're not going to disown you.
That said, if you can help us out, it's for reasons. We have reasons.
They're good reasons. And one day we'll tell you about them. No, we're trying to save up money to get some better video equipment so that we can deliver to you better videos, better quality videos.
Studio.
Yeah, we would love a studio.
New cameras.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
No, we're trying to get some better cameras so that we can bring this show to you in a better quality. That when we're finally ready to bring Erpig to you, which is coming along, and there will be more updates on that soon, we'll be able to bring you that in a much better quality than what we're working with now, as well as from multiple angles, so that it can just be a much prettier package, something that you can enjoy better. We're also hoping to do some work in our community with this equipment, helping people out, giving them affordable video services. So we got a lot of things planned. Please do check that out. It's patreon.com/Orc Rogues, and there will, of course, be a link in the description. Thank you all so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and definitely comment if you have any suggestions as far as things we should cover in the future, or, you know, if you think his hair looks funny. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you're on mobile, hit the notification button so you can know when we upload a new video. We're also going to be doing some Orc Rogues updates soon, so be on the lookout. Until next time, we are Orc Rogues.
You'll want to use a coaster, because you don't want the balls to sweat on the wood.
Oh my gosh.